going to do a little gun belt video for you today. When I say gun belt, I'm talking about a war belt. So this would be a belt you would use to carry a bunch of gear on, maybe in uniform, or should the environment outside of your domicile or in the area you are residing be in turmoil, and you need to protect your home or exfil the area you're in, and you need a certain amount of gear on you for self-defense and survival purposes. Okay? So a war belt. Most of the time, people are just going to train in their war belt. Right, but there's always that off chance you might need this thing for real. So you want to make sure you have it set up. Now my belt has changed many times over the years because I started out wearing a war belt in the military in the 90s, right? Early 90s into the end of the 90s, right before 9/11. And back then it was whatever the military issued for the most part. Now, after that, at the end of my military career, became a law enforcement officer, and my war belt was my duty belt. I didn't really set anything up right away, but eventually I set up a second belt for when I got on SWAT. And I had a different belt for my SWAT team set up than I did for my duty belt uniforms, patrol uniform setup. Never changed that. Those two, the duty belt couldn't change. That was pretty much SOP. It had to stay the way it was. But my war belt for SWAT changed over time. Nothing crazy, and probably a lot not nearly advanced as is now. Probably like an Uncle Mike's or something like that. I think eventually I upgraded to an Eagle, or I might have just started out with an Eagle. I forget, but you know, that was the brand back then. Paraclete, Eagle Industries, things like that. So over time, when I switched departments, I had a little bit more leeway in my next department, and I started getting different belts to wear. I hated the leather belt for patrol use. It sucked, and started going to nylon, more tactical style belts versus the duty style belts. And what I'm talking about are belts where you have a stiff webbing and then you have some kind of setup for loop to go through. So Molly kind of setup or anything like that. Now, that probably changed over the years a few times, different pouches and things like that. And I ended up the last few years of my career with a belt from GCode. It's a good belt. I like it a lot. There's some better belts out there. I will be upgrading now. Not that they're better, they're designed differently, and the designs are better. The belt itself is sturdy, and I've had 3 of them. They've lasted many, many, many years. I had a training one, I had a patrol one, and I had a road job one. And they're set up very similar. I always have a detachable holster set up, so the holster could come on and off, so I didn't have to have multiple holsters. I would just take the holster on and off as I needed it. And then everything else was dependent on where I was going. Some of the things didn't change, like position of mag pouches. But like on my range belt, I probably wasn't carrying as many sets of cuffs. I wasn't having a baton holder on there, things like that. I could add it if I needed. Baton holders came on and off pretty easy, things along that line. So if I was doing scenario-based training, I was more apt to carry my duty belt for that. So, but you know, because honestly, you can't roll on the ground all the time during training. As an instructor, I was at the range a lot, and we like to do a lot of, I tried to get us to do a lot of different styles of training besides just standing and shooting at static targets. And you know, you don't want to beat up your baton, your PR-24, or your ASP, or whatever you're using. You don't want to beat up the holders and stuff like that, because you got to replace that out of your own pocket a lot of times. So I just would leave that stuff off. And then if I was going to situational based training, I would carry a belt appropriate for it that had more handcuffs on it, that had baton, chemical spray, things like that. So what I have now is a belt for my everyday environment should I need it. Again, this is a GCode belt, and I like it a lot. I'm going to be upgrading to a different style of belt. I want to get something where the Molly system is a little bit of a better design on it versus what I have now, which is what I just showed you a minute ago. But let me show you how my belt is set up. So first, we'll go over a couple things. I always have a belt with a Velcro liner on the inside. you know, I forget what I would call off the top of my head, but this is the stiffer part on the inside, and my liner belt that would go on my pants would have the softer side. Why? Because when I first started, that was the other way around. I think like my Uncle Mike's or whatever it is I had back then, Safariland or something. And the problem was it would tear apart my uniform pants, the harder of the two sides of the hook and loop. So eventually I saw that this is probably how I came to GCode. They had the softer side on the liner belt and the harder side on the duty belt. Therefore, I wasn't tearing apart my duty pants all the time. So those things were expensive. So there's Velcro on the inside, and then I have two setups for that. So I have a padded liner right here that you can see. Okay. This is nice. I'm throwing it on over something. The padded liner's grippy surface on the inside. It's padded as well, which is nice, obviously, because it's my name padded liner. But it's kind of grippy, and it will hold on to my clothes better with this being on the inside like that. And then the other one is one that goes through the pants. Now, this is not a GCode liner belt. Theirs was a super flexible, softer, flimsy setup, if I remember right. I forget which one this is, but this is what I go with now. It's a much stiffer belt, and it holds the gear up better. I like when I'm going outside the waistband carry of a war belt, I like a stiff belt, liner belt. So I'd put that through my pants loops, then I'd Velcro that on. Now I can pretty much do that just Velcro. I'll tell you, when I was on duty, I had keepers on for the extra security, the added extra security, because that is only Velcro. And if somebody pulls hard enough, or if I go down hard enough in a fight, that thing could rip up or down, and the next thing I know, it's around my feet or it's up in my armpits, and I don't need that. So the belt keepers kept it in place. So the Velcro kept it from spinning, the belt keepers kept it from coming off of the liner belt. And I think that's the way most police belts should be, because I've seen police belts, I've seen videos of police officers in fights where they had just keepers and the belt would spin inside the keepers with enough force. And I've seen videos of people with just Velcro, and then eventually the Velcro shears up or down, causing the belt to come unhooked from the liner belt. So it's my take on it. Again, I still have belt keepers. If I need to throw those belt keepers and I think I'm going to need it, I'll use it. But I've done some pretty good ground fight training with this belt with just the Velcro, and it's held up so far. So let's move on to my setup. Okay, so what I have is a there we go. Okay, my war belt is set up with some basic things. So obviously I have a holster. I like a holster that comes on and off. And it's got to be a good tight system. Here I'm running the GCode system with the RTI, the rotating holster setup. So that'll push those in. This pops up. I've used this, and I've used Safariland extensively. I feel like this is a little bit more secure than the Safariland, so that's why I run it. I do run a leg strap on mine because I do ride it low. If I rode it up a little higher, I need the leg strap, excuse me. But I ride it kind of low, so I have the leg strap. If you're riding your pistol low, you're going to want that leg strap on there. Let's start at the buckles, and we'll go around from the gun side. So when I set up a war belt, okay, one of the things I want is as little of this loose strap as possible. See this loose strap right here? That's a waste of space, in my opinion. If I could do it, like if I had the cash to do it or get a custom one, I'd make it so there was like 1 inch or 2 inches of play at most, and that's it. So my next one, because I lost some weight a while back, will be sized a little bit different, so I'm minimizing it. So right now I probably have, we got there like 6 to 8 inches, maybe 6 to 7 inches of flexible stuff there. Now you'll see this tourniquet pouch here is keeping it from flexing. I have it hooked up to take up some of that space, but again, to me that's wasted. I'd rather have more of the solid Velcro and Molly setup on there. I am using a Cobra buckle. It's nice and secure. There are some other good buckles out there. You got those C-clip buckles type things. So, you know, buckles, just make sure it's secure. Best I can say about that. So I have a tourniquet pouch here. I do like something covering my tourniquet. I never like just the tourniquet sticking out. I do keep a marker on this tourniquet. Here's the marker. I took it off to use it a minute ago, but I'll keep a marker up there. Not just for marking the person when I apply the tourniquet, or the tourniquet if it's got a spot to mark on it, but I also use it on the range a lot. That might change to red if I'm on the range or something, so it's more visible for people to see the markings. Right behind the tourniquet, I have my holster and on the GCode RTI belt mount. And I keep my holster right around the around 230-ish spot on my belt, because you know, driving my arm back like that, I have a bad shoulder, gets a little bit tight here, and I can actually tilt the holster backwards a little. It's easier to draw and get it out of the holster than if it's on the 3 o'clock here. Keep going back. I don't have anything here at the moment. I have some open space there. I then have a Ferro Concepts Roll 1 med pouch. It sits on top of the belt. Okay, it sits on top because that rides right in my lumbar, so it gives me some lumbar support when I'm sitting down. I love that concept. And I lie, I think I've done a video on that before, and I definitely love that concept. So that sits right in the center of my lumbar. If I fall on it, it's the arching area of my back. It's not super solid. It's, you know, it's got flex in there, so that works out well. Behind that, I have a dump pouch. This one is a Maxpedition roly-poly dump pouch, so it will roll up. Let's see how I do this. Got the thing here, so I can just first Velcro close like that, right? If I need to. This piece also Velcro's closed on the inside. I can roll it up, and there's another piece, a third piece of Velcro on the bottom, and I can do like that. This is why I think I got it originally, because it was pretty small. Just like that, and it doesn't take up much room closed or open. Then you move on. I have a couple rifle mag holders by GCode. These are the Scorpions. I like these. I can make them to fit 308 mags, my AR-10s. AR mags obviously are in there. They're also nice if I'm instructing. I take one of these mags out and I hold my cell phone in it. If I need to, I can put a tourniquet in it. I like the flexibility they give over a hard pouch, which doesn't give you as much flexibility. I haven't had anything fall out of these during my like my fighting pistol classes, where I'm on the ground rolling around and stuff like that. And then you keep going forward. I have some more Scorpion pouches for pistol right here. And one of them right now I'm using as a flashlight holder. Again, versatility, it's nice. And then 2 mag pouches right there. And I just put the flashlight in to show you guys. I will be changing this. Everything's gonna be going back 1 notch, because what I found out over the years, I'm probably a little bit lazy on my part not changing it, but when I have a rifle slung across my body, as the sling comes down, it was starting to grab my mag pouches, because I like to run my mags up front, so I'm going to move the pistol mags, all these mags and everything back a little bit. What I did to help accommodate that, and this is something that I'm upgrading now, is I got before I go to that, real quick. Then, this particular belt, another reason I liked it, it had a little piece of 550 cord here, to hook a carabiner on or something else, so I can, like, I got my gloves on it, I'll put my shot timer on it. And then this Cobra buckle has a D-ring for clipping a carabiner in if I was going to secure into something, and this was set up for a harness type setup. Not that this is set up for a harness right now. I wouldn't trust that D-ring with this setup to keep me in a helicopter or something like that. So, or do some kind of rescue work or anything. So, but that's what it's there for. Now, so that's what I have set up now. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to move all these pouches back. The reason being is, again, the sling, as a sling came across my body, I put this thing on and show you guys. So right now I'll put the liner on there. Okay, drop that liner right in. Okay, what's happening is my sling was coming across here, and as I pull the rifle up, sometimes I would pull the mags out. The mags have pretty good retention. I can tighten them as I need to. They have pretty good retention. They're not going to fall out just doing groundwork and stuff like that. But the rifles, I was pulling the rifle up sometimes to shoot, it would grab the edges of mags and pull them out. So I said, okay, I'm going to move everything back a slot or two. Now, that being said, what am I going to do? Because I don't have a lot of room on the backside here, right? Even though I'm a big dude and I do have a lot of room, I have, without taking the med roll pouch off the center of my pouch, I have one, maybe two if I do a minor adjustment that I can get on there. So what I got was this new dump pouch. Now, Kinetic Consulting Group, John Dufresne, I believe, designed it, and it is made with a company called Flatline Fiber Company. So the reason I went with this pouch is because in its rolled up configuration, let me roll it up into its rolled up configuration for you. In its rolled up configuration, it's small like the pouches from Maxpedition. All right. But unlike the pouch from Maxpedition where it has to sit next to another item, so it's taking up two slots on the belt, this particular setup has this panel right here that goes onto the belt, so the belt will be behind it. Okay, let me see if I have a piece of belt tape. Okay, so it would be like this on the belt, lined up with the two slots, and then the pouch would go through the belt and through these molly slots right there. And so now what happens is this sits under the pouch. So I'd have a mag pouch sitting here, okay, straight up and down, and then this would sit under it, hanging underneath it. So now it's not taking up an extra spot on my belt. So now I can shift these pouches, these five pouches, to the left a slot or two, move that dump pouch under one of the mag pouches, one of the rifle pouches, and now I am not having to move my roll one trauma pouch from Ferro Concepts. Okay, sorry about that. So that's the first thing. I was like, okay, that's awesome. So now I can hang this under and I can do what I need to do on the belt. Second part of this is, when you open it up, you got Cador nylon, I believe it is, if I remember right, pouch, nice and sturdy material. The loop, the flap, closure flap, Velcro's inside so it's out of the way. And then inside the pouch, there are 6 or 7 other pouches that are sewn into the wall using this elastic loop. I'm gonna turn the pouch inside out. So there you go, I turned it inside out. And you see all these, this black right here, that's elastic loop. So what happens, I can now put things inside. They're like these small ones on the far outside. There's 2 in the middle and another one on the far outside. So it's total 7 pouches, right? Pen, yeah, right, boom, now I can store a pen. Again, that'll be inside the bag. Which is handy on the range to have extra pens on me or have pens on me. I could run a small flashlight in there. I find need to. But the other pouches, you got a medium size on the outside, and in the middle you have a larger one, are designed to hold mags, like that. So I could have pistol mag, rifle mag, pistol mag. This could also hold a 12-ounce water bottle in it. It could hold a small med pouch. It could hold anything I want it to hold. Maybe I'm using distraction devices that day, and I can throw a distraction device in there if I need to, a used one or an unfired one or something. You know, Leatherman in the smaller pouches, anything I need to. It's nice. That would be inside as it's hanging off me. Okay, that would be inside, and I could jam something into those loops and have it, or I could keep stuff there to pull out of those loops. Plus, I still have the dumb pouch compatibility. The only thing that I would, the nice thing, draw cord. So if you want to secure it, it's secured, right? That's nice. I wouldn't mind seeing for like kind of like the roly-poly, Maxpedition roly-poly pouch. I wouldn't mind seeing a Velcro, piece of Velcro right here for this to Velcro onto. And I might bring this to my seamstress and have her sew that on there. That way, if I wanted to, I had a bigger item in here and I wanted to keep that bigger item from falling out, and smaller items would fall out the sides if I were to roll onto my side or something like that. But a larger item might stay in there if I did that. So something along this line right there, you know, have a Velcro right up at the top, right below the drawstring, and then I could easily keep it like that, or I can have it make a long one so it can go down here to up here depending on the size of the item I have in there. That'd be about the only addition I would make to this for my particular needs. Otherwise, I think it's a great pouch. I'll be taking my gun belt apart, which is not super easy. This is going to take me some time, and I'll be putting this on. So now you can see that the Kinetic Consulting pouch sits below a mag pouch, right? So it's not taken up, so I was able to move everything back 2 slots on my belt. So here's a little close-up. That's what it looks like on the front. So it looks like on the back. Yeah. I'll roll it up for you. I'll show you what it looks like rolled up. Get in there, stand by. I do it really well for you guys. So here we go. There it is, dangling right there, right below. So wasn't that hard using the GCode clip system that they have for attaching things to a belt? They have a couple different kinds of clips that go on the back of their mag pouches. This one's specifically designed for their belt. So if I get a 2-inch belt, I might have to get new clips for the back of it. Not a huge deal. That's part of what goes into moving forward with your equipment. Let me throw this on for you again. Okay, so there it is on. Now I've moved that stuff back. Let me grab this rifle. When I sling this and I've got it out, what would happen is when it was here, it would be hitting the mags right here. So I don't know if you can see that. Let me angle that down a little for you. Okay. It'd be hitting right here. Okay, now I can bring the rifle up without a problem. This is the way it would normally sit on the front of my body. I can bring it up, it's not grabbing. Otherwise, what was happening when this was more forward, it would grab and it would pull up and out on a mag sometimes. You can see how Glock, because I use Glock, how the front of the mag has that lip on it. It would grab that lip and pull it out of the pouch sometimes. Well, now that I've moved it back to, I don't have that problem anymore. So I can let this hang. When I drive it up on the target, I don't have to worry about having it grab a mag and drive a mag out, or having to put something else in the first pouch, because the first pouch you know, generally I will have a mag in it. That way when I swoop down to it, it's the most ergonomic spot, getting the mag out quicker and into the rifle versus having to go back a pouch or two for a mag. So I like having a mag right at the front. I didn't want to have to put a mag, as my mag says 2 and 3 on, the mag is 1 and 2, if not 1, 2, and 3 on the pouch. That way it's at the first spot my hand comes to, that first mag that is there, and then I won't put a mag back in that pouch that's partial or anything like that. I would try to move a mag forward, or if I could, a full mag forward on it. So that's the mag I generally go to, and if that's not there, my hand just keeps sweeping back to the next pouch, then to the next pouch, and then eventually to whatever else I have on me to use as a weapon. So there we go. You can drive from here up, no problems. Working out well. Glad I moved it. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate all my viewers and everybody that watches. And if you don't mind doing me a little bit of a favor, helping out the brand, the channel, and the training company, that would be hit the little bell up in the top for notifications, subscribe, like, share, and save a video here and there. That'd be awesome too. Those things will really help grow the brand, get out the content to more and more people. Maybe I can expand the studio, I can expand the camera equipment for better videos. Check out my Facebook and Instagram channel for my social media there. And as always, head to my website and come on out and take a training class with me. My favorite thing, the reason all this exists is because I train people. Right? I train people for recreational use of firearms, and I train people, my primary training goal or mission is self-defense firearms, okay? Been doing it a long time. I love doing it. I love getting new students. I love getting repeat students. I just love having you guys on the range, listening to what I have to say, and enjoying a day of shooting and getting some work done. Just knowing that I'm giving people the ability to one day save their life or someone else's life makes me feel good. That's why I became a firearms instructor in the first place. And you know, I'm primarily a firearms instructor, and that includes some of the tactical stuff that goes along with firearms, you know, like room clearing, single person, small teams, you know, couples, things like that. It could be less lethal, taser, OC spray, pepper ball kind of, or you know, impact munitions, things along that line. Just love doing it. So that's what this is all about. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you liking and sharing. Hey everybody, remember, it's not just about you and your family, it's about your community as well. Build a strong community around you, and you will survive whatever comes your way. Okay? Y'all have a great day. Stay safe. I'll talk to you soon.